it's Michelle here. I hope you're doing really well today. I wanted to hop on briefly and talk about being sensitive versus being hypersensitive. And I talked about this last week on a Facebook Live, and I could tell the video was, the quality of the video wasn't that great. So I want to talk a little bit about this sensitive versus hypersensitive. Which one are you? Are you sensitive or hypersensitive? And I'm going to try to make this brief. Last week I went on and on and it was fine. It was healing and helpful, I hope, for people, but I want to try to be very clear about this. We want to be sensitive. Sensitive people have the ability to thrive in their lives. Sensitive people are able to go out into the world and do things and enjoy their life, live their life purpose, and not take on all the hard emotions of other people. That's what a sensitive soul can do, a thriving sensitive soul. When someone moves into hypersensitivity, hi Stacy. Oh, you are doing a great job. Love your message. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you. When you move into hypersensitivity, it can really affect our nervous systems. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a counselor. I got my degree in education. I taught grade school for many years, but I've worked with people now for a long time, sensitive souls. So I know how we operate, and this is true for me too. When I was in hypersensitivity, I got sick. I notice a lot of people that will start to have autoimmune disorders when they're in hypersensitivity too long. I notice people that are in hypersensitivity too long have anxiety and depression issues. Again, I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm just telling you the patterns that I've seen so that you can start to be aware of where you fall in the category. And once we're really clear about where we are, that's the first step. Knowing where you are is a great space to be in to decide where you prefer to be. Does that make sense? We have two Stacys on. It's Stacy Day. Welcome, Stacys and Jennifer. Good morning. Good to see you. Okay, so we're talking about sensitives. We want to be sensitives. If you've moved into hypersensitivity, you might be experiencing things like confusion. You might be experiencing things like you feel like you're taking on the thoughts, feelings, and emotions of others. Parts of your life might not be working out. You might be experiencing anxiety or depression. In hypersensitivity, you might experience not wanting to leave your house. It may be hard for you to go to the grocery store. Jennifer said she was diagnosed with bipolar and anxiety. Yes, so it's really interesting, Jennifer. Like, do you consider yourself a hypersensitive then? And hello to you, Courtney. So just notice, like, these are the signs and symptoms that I see with people who have been in hypersensitivity too long. There might be people in your life that have told you you're too sensitive. And I know that can be really hurtful, and people usually don't mean to hurt us, but I kind of want you to just let them go for a second and get back to you. If you are not thriving in your life, I want you to consider that you may have gotten yourself on the spectrum. You may have gotten yourself into hypersensitivity. And when you're in hypersensitivity too long, it starts to affect us. And again, I'm not a doctor, but to me it felt like when I was in hypersensitivity, I would tell my doctor, many doctors, I was trying to find the right one, I would say, I have this buzzing inside of my body. And they would tell me this is anxiety, you take this pill. Somebody else would say, blah, blah, I don't know. Everybody had a different opinion until I found the right kind of doctor. I was in hypersensitivity. I had shot my nervous system. I had fried it. And when that happens, I notice diseases pop up. Ailments pop up. Our nervous systems can't take it. Our bodies start to break down a little bit. Does that make sense? The goal is for you to recognize that you might be in hypersensitivity, and I want you to start considering that might be true for you, And then the next thing is like, oh good, this might be what I am. And Michelle just said we want to pull out of that and get back into being just sensitive. There's so many fascinating things about hypersensitivity that are cool also. Like when I was in hypersensitivity, my mediumship skills and picking up on spirit was at its peak. I was the most accurate medium when I was in hypersensitivity, which sounds crazy. And part of me didn't even want to give up hypersensitivity because I was afraid I was going to lose those abilities. But my health was a big issue. So I decided my health was more important than being an accurate medium. So I really focused on letting that go for a while and moving back into being sensitive. My mediumship abilities are different now in sensitivity, which is fascinating. But now I have my health. And honestly, when I moved back into sensitivity and I got my health back, I was able to help, instead of some people, I help thousands of people now, right? Like look at this group. This group, when I got healthy, this group went to just thousands and thousands of people wanting to come. So I think the goal is we get healthy first, and then we're in a position to help others. And I think us as sensitives and empaths, that's our life purpose. Okay, I want to look at a few of these comments. Jennifer says, therapy helped me quiet my mind along with a quiet environment. Awesome, Jennifer. Courtney says, hypersensitivity here. Bad. Working on it, y'all. Good. Daniela says, 3 herniated discs. Oh, they're popping away. 2 in the neck. I break out in hives. Absolutely. Kayleen says, getting healthy now. Jennifer says, you rock. Thank you, Jennifer. So the question might be, okay, Michelle, yeah, I think I'm a hypersensitive. I hear you. This makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, throw it away. This has to make sense to you. If you're hypersensitive and you recognize that, okay, yeah, I want to step back into just being sensitive, and not just being a sensitive is awesome, and it's the place where we can thrive. You cannot thrive in hypersensitivity for very long. For me, there's different methods and tips and tools to move out of hypersensitivity. The biggest one that I've done for myself and others is to focus on the emotions. Because if you think about it, us empaths, we're wired emotionally, right? Most of us are feelers. If we use the emotion and the feeling, the way you're wired, to work on you, it relieves, it heals this and steps you back into sensitivity. Does that make sense? Debbie says that makes so much sense. Good. Trina says, I am type 1 diabetic, etc. So I think that's really interesting. Stacy says, I'm so hypersensitive and so misunderstood. Stacy, this is for all of us. Hypersensitivity also causes confusion within us, right? If you think about your nervous system being fried, mentally it'll cause confusion. When you walk around in the world with this, you have no choice but to reflect misunderstanding or conflict, because that's your vibe. And I am not talking about anybody's love, compassion. We've got that in spades. But when we have internal conflict, when we're hypersensitive, it causes a lot of internal energetic conflict. And that's your vibe. That's part of your vibe. Even though you're a loving, compassionate person, you also have that fried vibe going on. You will attract that. You'll reflect that in the world. That's part of what you'll attract into your life. So a big part of us moving out of hypersensitivity and healing it is getting back to our, what do you want to call it? Our true selves, our signature vibration, getting back to you, your awesome you. Okay, I'm going to read one more of these. Debbie says, I fried my system. I deal with fibromyalgia because of it. Absolutely. I hear that one all the time. Daniela says the buzzing, thank you for elaborating. I get that daily, makes sense now. Good. I feel like I get chills just reading that, Daniela. I think that no one is talking about this. And the best thing I can tell you is you've got to focus on moving out of hypersensitivity back into sensitivity. The question should be next, how do I do that? There's probably many techniques. My techniques, you can PM me if you want to, or maybe I'll put the link in here. I work with people, I work with women, I just work with women now, who want to work on healing what's going on inside, that fried nervous system, and moving back into sensitivity. I have found once women heal themselves and get back into that sensitivity, they start to get clear again, and then they're the ones that can go out into the world and help others. And that's my big dream these days, is helping people heal themselves so they can go out and heal others. Last one, Courtney, love how you put this. Awesome. Oops. I have lupus, recently diagnosed, and it has been so overwhelming. Anxiety is ridiculous, but, oh, I don't know if I can read the rest of that. But since getting my sensitivity in check better than it was, I've become healthier and less crazy. LOL. That is awesome, Courtney. So you're a living example of what I'm talking about, right? It would be interesting to see, what did you do? What tools and techniques or what methods did you do to get your sensitivity in check? Did you see a therapist? Did you work on your emotions? Did just awareness of you, of where you are and where you prefer to be, do it? Like, share what you did to get better. That would help all of us. Okay, I hope that helps. Love and light to you too, Daniela, and to everybody else. Dixie says, please put the link in. Does the buzzing have to do with the ears? Yes, it can be that. To me, buzzing in my ears is a message from spirit. I just work as an intuitive mediumship sometimes. A buzzing in the ear, to me, is my sign that I need to check in psychically or spiritually, and there's usually a message there. But that's how it is for me. The buzzing from hypersensitivity was throughout my whole body. Buzzing in my ears is usually a sign of intuition and psychic abilities. Okay, I hope that helps. I'll put the link in here, and please keep talking in this group if it helps you. If you have a question or if you found something that helps you, it's going to help somebody else too. Okay, have a great day. Bye.